Good afternoon, Good Shepherd friends. That is a different way for me to start. Usually I'm saying good morning, but I'm a little late today. I've actually already been to church. Facebook Live is still pretty good when you can't go in person. And I enjoyed hearing Father Lion and hearing the choir and the people there that were singing. I enjoyed hearing them rejoice in the goodness of the Lord. I want to shout out to anyone out there who is watching that is new this Sunday. Do you know what? We've had new people to start to join our church since we've been staying at home. Don't y'all think that's pretty cool? I actually got to know a little bit one gentleman who is new to us, and he is going to be helping tomorrow making the meals for the homeless. So there may be some new ones of you out there. I want to remind you that while Sunday school builds on each other week after week after week, that we are also this week starting a big new unit or theme of study, and it's going to last from now until Thanksgiving, and we're going to be doing a lot of thinking about what we're thankful for, which we should be doing even when it's not that holiday Thanksgiving. Now, y'all know when we meet together, I like to find out a little bit about you. And so, my get to know you question for this afternoon is, how many of you out there have a pet? How many of you have a dog? How many of you have a cat? Any rabbits? Does anyone out there have a fish? Or some fishes? Is that the plural of fish? What about a snake? I don't like snakes, but some people do. Do you know that yesterday I just saw that a friend of mine on Facebook who lives in the upstate has a pet lizard, and she had a picture of it, and it was yellow, and I think it was some kind of bearded dragon, and she tried to tell all of us out here in Facebook land that yellow lizard was sweet. I don't know about that. I don't know if a lizard can be sweet. What about you? Well, whether you have a pet of your own or not, I bet that most of y'all like some sort of animal. We don't have pets at our house, but I will tell you that we really enjoy our neighbors' cats. And we also really, really enjoy my mom's next door neighbor's dog. We enjoy that dog about as much, or maybe more, than we would enjoy a person. That's right, we do. It's a girl dog, and her name is Sophie. And if Sophie was out today, I would show Sophie to you, and I'm sure that you would fall in love with Sophie. She's little and she's white, and she has lots of spunkiness to her. I hope my video didn't mess up when my phone told me low power. Well, what are some things that you have to do for an animal if you keep them as a pet? Anybody out there have chores that have to do with their pets? I bet one thing you have to do is to feed them. Do you know what? That's how we got to really know our neighbors' cats. It's because when our neighbors went on vacation, we fed the cats. We didn't just feed them, but we made sure when we would go to give them their food that they had some fresh water. That's right. We are going to be talking about animals for a few weeks and what they need. Because you know what? Animals need some of the same things that we need as people. And we're going to go way back. We have been looking at the New Testament, but we're going to be studying something in the Old Testament for about a month of Sundays. And we're going to be thinking about sheep. That's right. No one I know has a pet sheep. I have seen some sheep before, but not very often. So, sheep have, they have 4 legs, like a dog and a cat would. Sometimes some sheep, I think, have a little horn on their head. Maybe that's like some of the boy sheep. I don't know. And I think they're usually white, unless they're dirty. And they have hair, no, fur. Not quite fur. Oh, they have what we call wool. That's right. They have wool on them. And I have seen some really cool videos of when some sheep have been sheared. So that's when they have their wool cut off. And that wool that's cut off can be used to make things like clothes, like blankets, and stuff like that. So sheep need to be sheared. They live outside. They need to be fed, and they need water to drink. And they also have predators. Do you know what predators are? They're other animals that want to eat them. That's right. I'll have to look up what it is that are predators to sheep. Do you know? Do you know who might be an enemy to a sheep? Who would want to come and get it out of the field and maybe eat it? Maybe a wolf? Maybe a fox? I don't know. Well, I don't think there are very many people in America where we live that keep sheep as pets or that farm sheep, like have lots and lots of them. Lots of sheep would be called a flock. But there are places in the world today where they're like, I don't know if you call them sheep farms, but you know what I'm saying. Because that wool can be sold. And also some people eat lamb's meat. So, sheep are still valued today. But sheep, it seems, were very valued during the times of the Old Testament, when we read those old stories. And we have talked about people who took care of sheep. We call them shepherds. Y'all know that. Let's see, Moses, we studied him one fall for a long time. Do you know at one point before Moses became a leader to take God's people out of slavery in Egypt, that the Bible tells us that he was a shepherd and he took care of his father-in-law's sheep. There was actually a boy that we learned a lot about last year when we were studying about God's kingdom and Israel's kings. And this boy grew up to be the second king of Israel when we study history through the Bible. And his name was David. I want to tell you a few things about David that we learned probably last year, but like me, you might forget some things. When David was a young boy and he had lots of older brothers, the Bible says it was left to him to take care of his father's sheep. And David learned lots of things while he was a shepherd. He learned how to find good grass for the sheep to eat. And he learned how to find, I would call them creeks maybe, for the sheep to come and get their water from. Sheep don't like to go and get water like from fast-moving rivers. That would be scary, you know? Have you ever been like down to the Riverwalk and sometimes the water's moving way, way fast? A sheep would not feel comfortable standing by that river and drinking some water. They like to drink water out of still ponds or creeks or things like that. And David knew how to find those things. Sometimes David had to protect the sheep from other wild animals. But do you know what? A lot of times there was not much to do when David was keeping those sheep. And I think to keep himself from being bored, he wrote songs. That's right. And some of the songs that he wrote are in our Bible, in the book of Psalms. Psalms is a song or a prayer to God, and we say or sing one every Sunday during our Eucharistic service. Last week, we actually sang one of David's Psalms that was about sheep and shepherding. And I think that we sang the first verse over and over. Y'all know Miss Melanie cannot sing well, but the beginning of David's song that he wrote about the sheep was, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want." I want you to think about that. Imagine that David, as a young boy, probably a young teenager, was out keeping his father's sheep and nothing was going on. They had had food. They had had some grass to eat. Look, I'm sitting in the grass today. They had had some water to drink from a little pond. And no other wild animals around. And I think that David was just sitting there like I am, maybe kind of chilling out in the field and thinking, I am a good shepherd. My sheep don't need anything. I make sure they are safe and have everything they need. And then he might have thought, do you know what? There is someone who does the same thing for me. The Lord. The Lord makes sure that I have everything I need. He makes sure that I have food and water. And there's really nothing that I want. That's a pretty big statement. Y'all, Miss Melanie still wants a lot of things. She wants some things that she doesn't actually need. And we all do have extra wants. But I think that is beautiful. That the boy David said, even before he knew that he was going to become king, even before he had done anything to make himself famous in the world, like that time that he killed the giant Goliath, he could already say to himself, the Lord is my shepherd. I do not want. Will you think about this with me? How has the Lord given you everything that you need? We can make a list. Do you know Miss Tracy makes a list of 3 things every day that she is thankful for? Do you think we could do that? Because I think it would be kind of cool for each of us to start writing down 3 things a day that God has provided for us that we're thankful for. And I would love the week before Thanksgiving for us to collect all our lists together and make a special book. We could even get it printed. We could even get someone to write it, parts of it, as a song, like the shepherd boy David did. We could even use it to rejoice and give praise to the God of the universe, who we are his sheep, and he is our shepherd. Get to it, y'all. 3 things today that you are thankful for. And do you know what? Today it could be certain foods that God has given us to eat. It could be a favorite drink, or it could be your favorite place outside, in a grassy field or by a river. Where is it that God has put you? I will see y'all next week.